Welcome to God Power Live, where Black women gods come to connect with their likeness and refine their emotions so we can do what we came here for. I'm your host, Naima, and I am here every weekday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Today's topic is intrinsic superiority, aka who do you think you are? Uh, I stream here on Facebook as well as here on TikTok. And for my TikTok viewers, if you ever need to see the full replay because you can't be here for the whole thing or you just can't be here for a day, the replay is always up live here on my Facebook page. And Facebook peeps, I periodically go over here to TikTok to say hi because there's the organic reach on TikTok is wonderful. And so I get lots of interaction. Well, sometimes I get lots of interaction during my live stream on TikTok that I don't get on Facebook. So if you're here on Facebook, give me a shout out. I will get a notification and I'll click it. That's also, see, I even got to do all that. I got to click it. Versus TikTok is just here. It just shows up. I can see it right here before me. So this topic, also I'm here for a maximum of 15 minutes every day, okay? Every weekday, 8 a.m., maximum 15 minutes. So this topic of intrinsic superiority, AKA you think you're better than. Again, I'm talking to Black women gods, and I talked yesterday about a storm that erupted that is me, that is you, as a Black woman god, that we are storms. And we are a particular storm because we have a particular intelligence that a chief reasoning for our being born is to bring that intelligence to earth. Now, I know in modern times where most people are blind and are direly unaware of who they are and what they're like, why are you here? Like Jay-Z said, and I know why I'm here. Like they don't know why they're here. And most people are just heavily consumed with what's going on in the external world, the news, TikTok, other people's perspectives, and are not aware of their own deep perspective versus the fleeting perspective that changes based on how much sugar they've had, how much caffeine they've had, what side of the bed they woke up on, and how they felt, and what's deep awareness. It is, I talked about the storm of you know of you and I come bringing that out, and as we interact with the normal world, okay, including the things that we have taken on that we are required to let go of if we're actually going to bring forward our work, okay. And um, I was in meditation this morning. I really appreciate this early morning dark time, and I realized how much of me, my whole the core here of the drive is that this particular intelligence, thank you for the hearts, this particular intelligence that is in Black women gods and also in Black male gods, and that's a whole other conversation about Black male gods, Black female gods. And one of the deep, deep hooks that's been embedded in us where and part of how my storm erupted was because I see these two particular Black women who it's at a deep level too, because we talked about it. They're very much, and for good reason. So this is the nuance. So the nuance of that is not so much important. It's, so I don't want to go that way. It's more so about what really was the cause of my eruption. What really was the cause, right? And this is why we talk about emotional refinement here on God Power Live, because if you are constantly pulled by your emotions without being able to stay with it to actually get the intelligence of it, you're just going to be upset about shit. And, I don't like it because and then you're going to chisel yourself down to a narrow ability to deal with the vastness of life. You're never going to be able to engage with the vastness of life. So it's good when your storm erupts. This is not about we don't want to be storms. It's a bad thing to be a storm. Yeah, you are a storm. So how do we extract the intelligence? And so when I saw how I erupted and I was bringing that intelligence into presence and awareness and quiet and soft and calm. So as I'm talking, you see yourself in this. Okay, you too. When this happens with you, when you get, you don't run from the storm. You don't run from the experience that triggers you. You don't run from something that doesn't feel good or I'm scared. You don't run. You look at, what is this communicating here? What am I to be getting from this? That's the point. Okay. And so, and I've been doing that, yeah, I went, oh God, yeah, okay. Yesterday, it's been since then. And so this morning, it was this, and I'll bring it home to myself. I talked about how for years, so much of it has been about, can I trust? Because I saw, and now it's who else has seen. I see what we have and who we are. I see the intelligence that we, and it's a seed in you. Okay. And when gosh, I will go back to this story forever until there's another story that trumps this story, where when the, and this is part of why emotional refinement is so much a part of my work. When I was in Paris and the vastness in me just swelled up. And this is what us as women, we're so afraid of swelling open because then we'll be big. We'll be too big for the friends, for the men in our life. And so we lie and we keep ourselves small enough to be approachable and nice and seem, good, and or just to seem like a black woman, just to seem like a decent person, just to seem like we fit somewhere. When I remember when I felt myself just I was inside of a visualization sitting in my apartment, like really looking at what was next for me. And I remember the vastness. I had never been with myself consciously at that level of vastness before. And I remember I ran out of my apartment and I went to the corner and I stood there and it was just like panic, like, and I didn't know what to do with the vastness of myself. Have you experienced this? And before I ran out the apartment, though, I could see the power. I could see all of who I was. I could see all of who Black women gods were. I could see everything that was required. I could see how we moved. I could see how we be. I just saw how it was. And it was everything. And it was so clear. And I had never been with something so, it doesn't take away the fact that I saw it though. But then I became panicked, like, what do I do with this? Like if you just had $10 million dropped into your bank account right now, you would panic. You think you want big money. You would panic if you had $10 million just dropped on you right now. And you would be, what to do? You wouldn't sleep the same. You wouldn't move the same. What do I do? Who do I call? Should I tell? And it's because the energy of that would overwhelm what's been your normal waking conscious state. Or it's like this quote that I saw once upon a time, and it said, if you give them what they deeply, secretly want, they will immediately become panic stricken. If you give them secretly what they deeply want, they will immediately become panic stricken. And a good example of what this looks like is there was a reel of a Black man that went viral on Facebook. And he was sitting down on the phone talking to a friend, and a beautiful woman walked by and was like, "Hi, your haircut is nice." She complimented him on two things, like his haircut and like his shirt or something else she complimented him on. And she just kept walking. That's it. She just walked by and she just complimented him and she kept walking. And he was like, "Nigga, whoa." And he was like, "What I'm gonna do? What?" And then all the Black men in the comments was like, you be like, a woman come at you like that, you be like, "Who sent you?" But she complimented you and you become panic stricken. You get large amounts of good in your life and you're suspicious. So when this vastness happened in my reality that I had never consciously been with, I was like, oh my God. And I left the apartment. I went and I stood on the corner and I didn't know what to do with it. So you know what I did that most of us do when we don't know how to handle a lot of good in our life? We sabotage it. I went to the bar and drank champagne until I could barely hold my eyelids open, is what I did. Yeah, that's what we do. That was my version of sabotage. What's yours? What's yours? When something get good, it get too good. Uh-uh. So, so this is how, and that was in 2017. That moment has entirely informed the way I have moved up until now. Okay? And I have seen, and I see it so clearly today, other Black women guys, a part of what had me in a storm a couple days ago, when we still are unafraid to sit in the vastness of ourselves. And I understand. I absolutely understand who we will be required to interact with before we even go out in the world, standing with it, being it, being it without wanting to. I'm telling you, my last stroke, I wanted to go hide behind a man. Oh, there's a man who looks powerful. Let me go over there and just fuel him with the power and let him do it so I don't have to do it. I'll hide behind him. I'll play nice. I'll do all the things and just feed the power to him. I just was trying to do that in 2020. After knowing what I know, who I am. So the intelligence and the jewel and the wisdom that came out of that storm that erupted 2 days ago is speaking. Naima, I am required to speak directly to that specific spot in us. That part of us that has a hard time even being with it. So we offshoot it to a white woman. We'll defer to her. If she says it, if she does it, then okay. Oh, yeah. See, thank you. I feel so, yes. Oh, he's not it. He's kind of, but if I just go over there and do it with him, I ain't gotta stand in it fully. I don't have to be fully responsible. I don't have to wear the weight of my endowment. I don't have to deal with the 10 million. I'll give it to him and let him deal with it. So the intrinsic superiority, when you really take on who you are, you really start to see your eyesight's clear, and it can, one of the words I was like, is superiority or significance? In the state of awe, it is significance. In the state of awe, most of us are not dealing consciously at the level of awe. We deal very much in duality, good, bad, left, wrong. So the reason why I talked about significance is because significance compared to who? Because superiority compared to who? Well, inferiority. So, and I know that's where most people sit in their inability, or whoever, all humans, but specifically Black women guys, and our inability and fear with really holding the endowment, holding and being the bounty that we are, versus trying to leak it out and get it up off of us. I don't want it. It's too much. Being suspicious. Can I trust? Can I trust who I am? As I've talked about so much here. Okay. So in the all of it, it's the intrinsic significance, because you have this very specific thing that you're here to do. That's why you go mad. You can't sleep. The ways we destroy ourselves because we want to get it off. Get it off. I don't want it. Or the whole why me? Why me? Little old me. I'm nothing. I'm a poor girl from Poland. I come from nothing. Who am I? Like all that. So then when this thing swells up in you, it's like, no. Okay? So there is an intrinsic superiority just by the sheer nature of the raw consciousness system you were born as. This is the point. Okay? I'm out of here. I'm at my time. Again, I'm here every weekday at 8 a.m. Pacific on TikTok and here on Facebook. TikTok, if you ever want to see the full replay, you can come over here to Facebook because the replay is always here. Thank you for the hearts. And I invite you, today is the deadline to come and get supported by me and to be in a small mentorship experience for 3 months. You can click Shadow Gold with the link in my bio to see details. You feel welcome to send me any questions. And I look forward to being back here Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Have a great weekend.